G-I-B-B-O, G-I-B-B-O, that's the moniker, man's on a mission. Got a weird walk like a pigeon on commission through the council estate. He's moving with pace, got a crew of old geezers right on his case, switching up outfits quick like a flick. 1 minute he's a Bobby next to geezer with a stick. He's dodging and weaving through the market store mess. He's got a big grin and a cheeky little vest. It's Gibbo, mate, I'm on my Benny Hill now, chasing everybody through the whole damn town. With a ding-ding sample, yeah, you know the drill. The whole manor's running from Gibbo Hill. He's on your tail, can't get away. He'll chase you till the end of the day. See him skanking through the high street with a purpose, yeah, tripping over curbs, but he just doesn't care. He's got a whole posse, a flash mob of fools breaking all the rules. He's a milkman, a butcher, a postie on a spree. He's a man of 100 faces, can't you see? 1 minute he's a flirting with the ladies in the park, next he's running from a vicar in the dark. It's Gibbo, mate, I'm on my Benny Hill now, chasing everybody through the whole damn town. With a ding-ding sample, yeah, you know the drill. The whole manor's running from Gibbo Hill. He's on your tail, can't get away. He'll chase you till the end of the day. Now watch him pull a trick, alright, proper stunt. He'll swap his suitcase for a rubber duck punt. He'll slip on a banana, then get up to salute. Still a traffic cone and wear it as a boot. He's hiding in a phone booth, but his bum's sticking out. He's got a water pistol making everyone shout. He's painting a fake door on a brick, will you see? Then he'll run right through it, faster than a flame. It's Gibbo, mate, I'm on my Benny Hill now, chasing everybody through the whole damn town. With a ding-ding sample, yeah, you know the drill. The whole manor's running from Gibbo Hill. He's on your tail, can't get away. He'll chase you till the end of the day. Yeah, Gibbo Hill, the dawn of the chase.
Hello everyone, so let me just quickly do a little roll call, see who's here, who's not here, and who needs to be binned. So yeah, Frank March is going to be live directly, not directly, but sort of around about the time I finish. She's going to be on Rebecca Park, PCA. I'm going to try and join him if I can, but I am tired, I tell you. Good looks here. So, for some reason, half the time when I'm typing, it's not coming up on my stream. I don't know if it's coming through to you guys. But, yeah, I had to drop Frank's link back 4 times before I actually stuck. Susan. Karen. Hello, Karen. Karen, yes. Here's Frank Meister as well. And newest managing mod, rescue all of the dogs. Thank you very much. She's now a managing mod because she keeps paying me up everywhere I go. So, there you go. For a go over this case quickly, we've got Zine. There's a lot in this live. It's a lot of distressing footage and things like that. I've tried to find as minimal as possible, but yeah, it is a very sad life indeed. Set the fire off, let's put the girl up. This is Kinsleigh. Before I continue, I want to do an audio check. Yeah, mic check. Oh, God, yeah, see far. Hello, sorry. Many apologies from up here. Is that what you guys say? I don't know. Crazy Australians. Yeah, check out Doodle Book. I can't stress you guys how distressing this content is. I've gone half an hour early because I've got, well, yeah, half an hour early because I've got so much to show you. Audio. I think I'm going to ask for a refund on I still can't hear, the audio is bad. Yeah, I'm going to ask for a refund off StreamYard. Why am I paying for something when half the time you can't hear the... Yeah, Jill, look, listen, I don't get to see the chat like you guys do. It's different on my side. I've got little things in place now to try and sort this out. For some reason, StreamYard, whenever I go live, the audio's fucked. And look, 5 people have dropped out, so it's affecting me. So, fuck StreamYard. I'm getting pissed off with it. I've lost everything that I got up for you. That's all gone now. This is what I'm saying. It's ridiculous. Video file. There it is. I've got to get all that back up for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this for you while I sort everything else back out.
The abuse was only towards Kinsleigh?
The neglect was them all, but
The neglect.
the physical abuse was Kinsleigh.
It wasn't about she didn't want her. She wanted to see Kinsleigh dead. That was her goal.
Now, as we give a voice to victims, family members of a 5-year-old child who was allegedly starved to death are suing the Indiana Department of Child Services for not doing more to help her. You might remember Kinsleigh Welty. Court TV has been following her case ever since she died last year. Prosecutors are alleging that she was subjected to years of abuse, including being confined in a filthy closet for most of her short life. And now, for the first time, we're seeing the condition that Kinsleigh was in on the day that she died. And we want to warn you, the image we're about to show you is graphic. This is a photo of Kinsleigh's legs taken in the hospital the day that she died. She was 5 years old and weighed only 21 pounds. Her mother, Tony McClure, her mother's boyfriend, and McClure's mother are all charged in connection with Kinsleigh's abuse and her death. Now, the child's biological father and grandfather have filed a civil lawsuit. The complaint accuses DCS and 10 family case managers of failing to do more to prevent Kinsleigh's death. Kinsleigh and her siblings were removed from Tony McClure multiple times, but always returned to McClure. Let's talk about it. Let's bring in our guests. Let's bring in Tom Rawlings. He's the former director of the Georgia Division of Family and Children's Services. He's also an attorney. Tom, good morning to you. You've examined the lawsuit for us. Share with us your initial thoughts, please.
Well, Julie, first of all, we know this is a horrible case. Poor little Kinsleigh. I can't imagine the torture this child went through. It almost makes me want to cry here on the TV. But looking at the lawsuit, as you know, we spoke a couple of years, so I guess last year about this a couple of times. And looking at the lawsuit really reinforces to me that the Department of Children's Services and others just really lost the opportunity to help this child. There were multiple reports about her from November 23 up until the day she was found deceased. And it's as if no one really cared. No one responded. They said they couldn't find the house, even though she had been in the same place for quite some time. It's a very concerning case, and it certainly highlights, how sometimes the system does not work. And we have to have a system because, unfortunately, we have people like Tony McClure and her mother and her boyfriend who, quite frankly, just appear to be evil people.
Okay, so I just want to point something out. Doodlebug said this is exactly what a DP case should look like. Yeah, and this is true. But let me tell you something. After reading what I've read and looking into what I've read, the CPS or DCF, whatever they want to hide under in whatever state, should also not just facing disciplinary for that department, but people directly involved in this case should be fucking on trial with the parents. Close the case because they couldn't find the girl. Close the case. Can't find her, sorry. Close the case. It's disgusting.
I couldn't agree more, Tom. And, they've all got a criminal case pending. We're going to cover that case extensively when that goes to trial. I'm with you. Seeing that photo of her legs, it's hard to look at.
Horrible.
For a period of 5 months before her death, she died on April the 9th of 2024. Kinsleigh, 5 years old at the time of her death, the lawsuit alleges was abused, imprisoned, neglected, tortured, starved, and ultimately died while in the care and custody of defendants McClure, Smith, and/or Halsey at her home. Goes on to say, in part, on April the 9th, law enforcement officers discovered Kinsleigh in a severely malnourished and emaciated state, her bones visibly protruding, with feces on her hands and her feet, and active head lice covering her scalp. Kinsleigh was declared deceased that evening after being taken to Riley Hospital for Children. Ugh. Tom, how culpable do you think DCS is here in not protecting this child? Because we know this kind of treatment doesn't happen in a day.
Look, I've worked with social workers my whole life. They work in a system. It is a difficult job. I have great empathy for that work and how difficult it is. I think that in this situation, I think it's a good.
Bullshit. StreamYard, you're done. I'm getting a new platform. It takes too long for everything to do. Bullshit to what this man's saying. I've got great empathy for him. How many children are going to have to die before they start looking into the system? Okay, you can't find the child. What's the next protocol? Close the case. Close the case. Because there's not just one report on this little girl. There's multiple reports. It's disgusting. Yeah, fuck StreamYard. But the amount of cases like this that keep coming up and they get the, oh, well, see, it's not all CPS's fault, it's not all DCF's fault. So whose fault is it that they closed the case because they couldn't find the child? Whose case is that? Where does the blame fall? Because surely, somewhere in this world, there's someone that's saying, hang on, we need to get a system that's in this system. There's got to be someone, because this is getting ridiculous. Harmony Montgomery, now this girl, and there's I can get cases after cases after cases of children that were failed by the system.
Good opportunity for Indiana to really look at its child protective system. And if you see what happened here, there was just so many missed opportunities. As you know, Kinsleigh had been removed a number of times and placed with her grandfather and then put back with this horrible situation with her mother. I would like to know more about why. Why wouldn't you simply leave Kinsleigh in a safe place? Who made the decision to put her back? And then starting in November 2023, there was call after call after call to DCS. And many of those calls were screened out or did an expedited case closure, even though no one had ever laid eyes on Kinsleigh. They laid eyes on her brother at school. They had a situation apparently where another child, there was a report, a half sibling, but they claimed they couldn't find her, and they closed the case as unsubstantiated. And I think that tells me there's a real system problem. Again, I don't doubt that these caseworkers who go into this work for Indiana are good people. They try their best, but there's something wrong about the system when you can miss this type of opportunity. The entire time, this child was probably locked in a closet being starved, and yet the case the case is unsubstantiated. No one's seen the child. It's a real systemic failure.
Really is. I'm having a hard time keeping it together. I'm just going to be so honest. These cases, they're tough, Tom, as you know. Child abuse cases are some of the worst, most upsetting cases you can deal with. I always say, God bless those investigators and prosecutors who can stomach looking at pieces of evidence, like something that we
Okay, how is my audio? How's my audio, everyone? I've got the chat up so I can see the chat. I need to know how my audio is before I continue, because I'm getting pissed off the StreamYard now. I'll just leave it in. Fuck it. 2 minutes. Yeah, I know that, Jinx, but what am I going to have to do? Like, keep backing in, backing out, backing in, backing out. StreamYard's fucked. Ruining my fucking things, man.
Share screen. Everything I can. Right, there's no audio on this. It's just a PCA. So, but ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the failed DCF. The failed DCF. They were given multiple reports, multiple times told to go get this child, and they couldn't find her, so closed the case. Let me get it up. Because what you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is you have to share your screen, then you have to go out to the thing that you've shared screen to, then you have to come in, then you have to turn it onto your screen, and then you have to go out, because StreamYard doesn't know how to work things. Ridiculous. State of Indiana, County of Marion, SS. On April 9th, 2024, Detective Shane Nicholson of Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department Child Abuse Unit was notified to contact IMPD Officer Ryan Wright. Officer Wright advised he had responded to the death investigation at 6519 Denver Drive. Now I'm going to have to do this because fuck's sake, StreamYard just isn't working. Fuck's sake. Obviously, personnel performing life-saving measures on the victim, Kinsleigh Welty. Inside the house of Denver Drive, Officer Wright advised that Kinsleigh's mother, Toni McClure, 29 years old, stated she had just picked Kinsleigh up and she spent the last 1.5 months with her father. So she's saying she's been with her dad for the last 1.5 months. Let's keep reading because Dad's not on the charges. Dad's been the one that's been saying there's something wrong with my daughter. Officer Wright advised Toni, stated Kinsleigh had a headache and that her legs had been trembling. Toni stated that when they arrived home, Kinsleigh collapsed on the floor. Officer Wright stated Toni called for emergency services after approximately 20 to 30 minutes. Officer Wright observed bruising on Kinsleigh's face and noted that it appeared Kinsleigh was malnourished. On April 9th, 2024, Detective Nicholson applied for and was granted a search warrant. One of the worst states, counties. Search warrant, reference cause, and then you've got the cause numbers, to search a trailer home and both vehicle on Denver Drive for various items of evidentiary value. Another search warrant was later granted, reference cause number, for additional items observed inside the home. Detective Harris applied for and was granted search warrant, and then you got. So it appeared Kinsleigh was severely malnourished. Kinsleigh was thin and her eyes were sunken. Kinsleigh had what appeared to be fecal matter on her various parts of her body, including the bottom of her feet, in her hair. The fecal matter had matted in her hair and the bottom of her feet. Kinsleigh had what appeared to be lice and other small type tiny insects crawling on her face and in her hair. Kinsleigh's hair was very short and appeared to be thin. There were also what appeared to be bites or other unknown sores on Kinsleigh's abdomen. So there's then a photo added to it, but it's redacted from the public version, thank God. Medical personnel at Riley Hospital had concern for malnutrition and other neglect-related issues due to the initial observation of Kinsleigh's body, it was advised that Kinsleigh weighed more than a 2.5-year-old. Than what she should have weighed in a 5-year-old. So that makes no sense. But I swear and affirm under penalty of perjury. Okay, we don't need to know all that. Deputy Coroner Amber Jane arrived at the hospital to perform an external examination of Kinsleigh. Deputy Coroner Janes also had concerns that Kinsleigh was malnourished. Deputy Coroner Jane took possession of Kinsleigh's body and clothing. Tony stated she had been living at the 6519 Denver Drive for the past 6 months. Tony stated Kinsleigh was one of 3 children that she had with their father, BW. The other children were BW age 6 and PW age 4. She also had a newborn, HS, with Ryan Smith, her boyfriend. Tony stated she had been married to BW since 2017, but they had separated for the past 3 to 4 years. Tony explained that BW had previously issues with heroin, but he had recently been doing better. Tony stated BW asked to have Kinsleigh stay with him. Tony agreed, and in early to mid-February, she dropped Kinsleigh off with BW at the McDonald's location located near W16th Street, Lafayette Road. Tony stated she spoke to Kinsleigh regularly during the time, but it was only through audio phone calls. Tony explained that earlier that day of the interview, BW had called her and told her that she needed to take Kinsleigh back because he could not keep Kinsleigh due to work obligation in Carmel, Indiana. Tony stated she met BW at the same McDonald's and took Kinsleigh back. Tony stated Kinsleigh entered the vehicle and took off her hood. Tony stated she observed that Kinsleigh's hair had been cut and was matted. Tony described Kinsleigh's hair as hard. Tony stated she also observed that Kinsleigh had a bruise on the side of her face. Tony stated Kinsleigh looked terrible and she had lost a lot of weight. Tony stated Kinsleigh had complaints of pain in her head and legs, and her legs were trembled. Tony stated she arrived home and carried Kinsleigh to the entrance of their home. Tony stated she put Kinsleigh down and she immediately collapsed inside the house. Tony stated only 20 to 30 minutes had elapsed from the time she picked Kinsleigh up until she collapsed in her home. Tony stated she began CPR on Kinsleigh at that time. Tony stated Kinsleigh had a lot of liquid that kept coming out of her mouth. Tony stated Kinsleigh just kept gurgling. She did call her current boyfriend's mother, MS, to pick her other children up during the time. Tony stated she eventually called for emergency services and continued CPR until the medical personnel arrived. Tony could not provide an address or exactly where Kinsleigh had been staying with BW. Tony also did not have a good phone number to contact BW. Tony stated Kinsleigh had previously been diagnosed with mild dwarfism and a floppy trachea. Tony stated that caused food. So look, she's starting to come up with excuses now after everything. so the food would get trapped in her lungs. She was saying, Tony stated Kinsleigh was put on a feeding tube for some time, but Raleigh Hospital removed it when she was around 2 years old. Tony stated Kinsleigh had no current medical conditions that required medication or cause of any further issues. Tony stated Kinsleigh was last medically evaluated December of 2022. Tony stated that a DCS employee had just been to her house earlier that day because her newborn had tested positive for THC. So, I'm not even going into it. Tony stated she picked up Kinsleigh after DCS visited the home. Starting to sound funny, that, isn't it? After a conclusion of the interview, Detective Nicholson explained he would be seizing a cellular phone as part of the investigation. Tony stated her phone is still at the house. Tony described the phone being an Apple iPhone with a white case. Tony provided Detective Nicholson with the passcode. So Detective Nicholson learned from FCM there had been multiple DCS reports, assessments for various incidents of neglect involving Kinsleigh and or Tony. It appears DCS had difficulty locating Kinsleigh to the conduct several of more recent DCS investigations. So why did they not follow up? Detective Nicholson responded to the 6519 Denver Drive to meet Detective Davis, who had been at the scene. Indianapolis, Marion County, Forensic Services Agencies, crime lab technicians had also responded to the house to assist with evidence documentation. CSU technician took photographs and recorded video of the house. CSU technicians collected various clothing items, towels, and other items with potential biological evidence. CSU technicians also collected lice shampoo from the trunk of the blue Suzuki sedan. Tony's Apple iPhone was located in the kitchen counter. While Detective Davis was at the house, Tony's mother, Tammy Hazley, grandmother JB, and great aunt VG arrived. It was discovered that they had heard of the different versions of events for what happened earlier in the day between Tony and Kinsleigh. The version of events that were provided were distinctly different from what Tony had just exactly explained to Detective Nicholson at the hospital. This included that BW was not involved with what happened. Specifically, Detective Davis learned the following from Tammy and JB. JB stated that Tammy had told her that Kinsleigh had fallen into the bathtub and Kinsleigh was gone. Tammy stated she learned Kinsleigh had fallen into the bathtub from her other daughter, Tony's sister, LM. Tammy stated LM told her that Tony had walked away from the bathroom, and when she came back, Kinsleigh was underneath the water. Tammy stated Tony tried to do CPR, but it was unsuccessful. Tammy stated Kinsleigh's father was not involved and had not been involved in Kinsleigh for some time. Tammy stated that BW had not had contact with any of the children because he was in and out of rehab. Tammy stated BW would not even know what the children would look like. That's sad. She did not know where BW was located. Detective Davis also spoke to several of Tony's neighbours They had cameras and motion recorded footage of the front area of the trailer home. On April 10th, Detective Nicholson went to the house on the 2900 block of Roberta Drive. This address was BW had most recently listed on his Indiana BMV ID license. CL stated BW was a friend and she had known for approximately 7 years. CL explained she had lived at the house for at least 14 years. He had been about one year since BW lived there at the house, but he still constantly visited the house. CW stated BW had just been over at the house earlier on April 9th around 5 p.m. CW stated BW did not appear as if he had seen the children, including Kinsleigh, for some time. Stated BW would have told her immediately if he had seen any of the children because he struggled with not being able to see them. CL believed BW had been with a girlfriend when he visited the house. CL believed they had been in a couple of years. It had this is all over the place. It had been in a small red cube style vehicle. Stated BW's children had not been at the house for some time. CL believed BW had been with girlfriend when he visited the home. Believed that they had been in a small red cube style vehicle. Stated BW's children had not been in the house and not seen them in a couple of years. At the end of the interview, CL allowed Detective Nicholson to go into the home. Detective Nicholson did not observe any issues within the home. It did not appear BW lived at the address. Hello, Shorty Small. On April 10th, Detective Nicholson responded back to the 6519 Denver Drive to continue with execution of the search warrant at the home. Detective Davis had remained at the house while Detective Nicholson went to the house on Roberta Drive. There's so much more to this as well. Okay. Detectives and the CSU technicians observed the back room had bunk beds. The back room had bunk beds and appeared to be the bedroom belonging to the two boys. The closet door had been locked with a large dresser. The dresser was moved away from the door. Detective Nicholson opened the closet door and immediately smelled a strong odor of urine and feces that emanated from the interior of the closet. Detective Nicholson observed what appeared to be human fecal matter on the carpeted floor and also the walls of the closet. There were small clothing items that appeared to belong to a young female child. These clothing items were heavily soiled. There had been what appeared to be a small handprint on the interior of the closet door. These handprints appeared to be marked by fecal matter. Additionally, there were 3 Ensure protein bottles that were empty on the floor in the closet. The expiration dates for the Ensure protein drinks were dated for February and March 2025. Detective Nicholson observed what was discovered to be white bread and peanut butter laid on the floor. The sandwich had not been eaten. The bread was noted to be dry, hard, but it appeared otherwise fresh. Huh? Since there was no mold found on the sandwich, well, okay, ladies and gentlemen, for mold there has to be moisture. Bread doesn't necessarily go moldy. The majority of bread goes moldy in cases because it's like a plasticky casing. So what the fuck that officer's thinking, I don't know. It's rock solid, yeah. It's bone dry, yeah. That means there's no moisture in it. It's not going to go moldy. CSU technicians began to collect the clothing from the closet. Detective Nicholson observed what appeared to be more human feces that was located with a hot dog bun underneath one of the clothing. CSU technicians took additional photographs and recorded a video of the closet, which was measured to be approximately 5 foot by 3 foot. Detectives in CSU located what appeared to be the same peanut butter in one of the kitchen cabinets. There was an empty packet of white bread that was laid on the top of the trash in the kitchen. The expiration date of the bread was April 6th. There was peanut butter smeared. Yeah, this is the mother's house, Karen. Mother lied. Mother told us at the beginning that, she was struggling to get hold of dad and blah, blah, blah. We know that's lies. The expiration date of the bread was April 6th, 2024. There was peanut butter smeared on the outside of the bread packaging. It appeared to be the same bread used in the sandwich in the closet. There were also hot dog buns that appeared to be the same as what had previously been found in the closet. These hot dog buns were also on the kitchen cabinet. Detective Davis also located a vacuum which appeared to be feces inside it. The contents of the vacuum were emptied and documented. DCS members had made detectives aware that various inconsistencies in Tony's version. Yeah, but DCS, these are the fuckers that should have been in charge of looking after this child. This child was put back in his home multiple occasions. This included that Tony had told DCS caseworker that had visited the house earlier, April 9th, that she was with her grandparents instead of BW's. Additionally, FCM Shepler stated she had located Tony's boyfriend Ryan Smith and several of Tony's children in Plainfield. Ryan initially told FCM that the children had been with him in Plainfield for the last several days, but Ryan admitted that was a lie, that Tony's mother, Tammy, had told him to tell police. So, even Mum's in there. Barbara, you spot on. Everybody failed this little girl. Everybody involved. Oh, this is going to keep going. This is absolutely disgusting. Tony provided various versions of events and explanations for everything that had happened to Kinsleigh. Eventually, Tony admitted that she had lied to detectives about her version of events with BW. Tony stated BW was not involved in any manner and that he had not been involved with the children for over a year. Tony stated BW likely had no knowledge that Kinsleigh had even died. Tony stated she had been Kinsleigh's primary caregiver Tony stated her mother, Tammy, helped watch Kinsleigh at times. Tony felt that Tammy shared some of the responsibility for what happened to Kinsleigh because she knew everything, but she never helped or did anything. Tony stated Ryan was a great guy, and he and his family had nothing to do with it. Tony expressed that she was always with Kinsleigh. Tony stated nobody would help her when she asked for help with Kinsleigh. Tony stated Ryan never paid attention to Kinsleigh, even though he lived in the same house where they were every day and night. Tony stated Ryan never put Kinsleigh into the closet or interacted with her while she was there. Tony stated Ryan had never physically assaulted Kinsleigh, and Tony stated Tammy brought it up to her that Kinsleigh did not look well and had lost weight. Tony expressed that Tammy and Ryan told her Kinsleigh needed help and that she would die if they did not fix how she was treating Kinsleigh. Tony stated for a few months ago that Tammy and her sister LM did take Kinsleigh to give her a break. Tony stated that while LM had Kinsleigh had smeared feces on a bedroom wall. Feces in her bathroom. Tony stated she did not understand why everyone said Kinsleigh drowned. Tony stated she had just communicated with Ryan and Kinsleigh had fluids in her airway when she started CPR. She stated also communicated with her sister, LM, that she could not get Kinsleigh to breathe. Tony stated LM told her to do CPR. Tony explained how Kinsleigh was asleep and underneath the blanket in one of the back rooms when DCS was at the house. Just before Kinsleigh died, Tony stated DCS did not check the room. Tony stated that she also lied and told DCS that Kinsleigh was with her grandparents. Tony lied to DCS because she knew that it would not have been good if DCS saw Kinsleigh. Tony stated DCS had just been to the house a month or so earlier and they took a picture of Kinsleigh. They took a picture of her a month before this happened. So they knew the state she was in. DCS did not express any concern. Tony explained Kinsleigh had a lot of behavioural issues. Tony discussed they've always got behavioural issues. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking disgusting. Tony discussed the various issues with Kinsleigh's behaviour. Tony stated Kinsleigh hated her. Well, I'm not, you kept her in a cupboard. Tony stated she did not get Kinsleigh help because she was scared to get into trouble. Tony explained she did not want her other children to be taken away because of Kinsleigh. Tony stated Kinsleigh had resentment towards. She's a fucking child. So apparently this 5-year-old child had resentment for the mother. She was doing it all on purpose. Because she had been taken away by DCS earlier in her life. Tony stated she and Kinsleigh did not share a connection or bond. Now, that I believe. Tony was apologetic for lying to detectives. Where am I? Tony stated she was going to go to jail, and Tony stated Kinsleigh needed help, but she did not help. Tony stated she had fucked up. Tony explained that it was true that Kinsleigh had told her that her head and her legs were hurt right before she collapsed and died. Tony stated she was not going to lie. Kinsleigh told her she wanted to die just prior to her death. Tony believed Kinsleigh died because of malnourishment. Tony stated she did not know Kinsleigh had lice until she began CPR. Tony stated she just assumed that it was feces. So, it's okay, it's just a bit of feces. Tony stated a few weeks ago she cut Kinsleigh's hair because of feces in her hair. Tony explained that she never looked at Kinsleigh close enough. Now, Rick Snay, are you all Tony? Are you all Tony? Yeah. Tony admitted that for at least the last few months she had routinely put Kinsleigh in the back closet that detectives had discovered. Tony stated her memory of for the timelines was not great, so it was likely to be to have been longer than just a few months. Tony stated Kinsleigh physically declined over the last several months, but she did not help because she did not want to lose her other children. So, where's the sense in that? Tony stated she neglected Kinsleigh. Tony stated Kinsleigh was let out of the closet every day for a short time where she went somewhere, but Kinsleigh did not spend most of the time in the closet. Tony stated when they returned from somewhere, Kinsleigh would just go back to the closet on her own. Tony stated it was just easier to keep Kinsleigh in the closet because she did not have to deal with her while she was in there. Tony stated Kinsleigh would sit in the closet and talk to herself, and she never thought to get this little girl help if this is true. Tony stated Kinsleigh would yell for her to and tell her she was hungry and thirsty. Tony stated Kinsleigh expressed she was hungry and thirsty became her slogan. It became her slogan. Tony explained how she recently struck Kinsleigh in the face with her hand because Kinsleigh bit her arm. Tony stated she knew that the way she had treated Kinsleigh was likely to lead to her death, but she did not want to believe that would happen. Tony stated she did the bare fucking minimum. Now that is quoted, bare fucking minimum for Kinsleigh, and she expressed the desire for Kinsleigh to be out of her life. Tony stated she had wished that Kinsleigh was never born. Tony explained that she had only been providing Kinsleigh one small meal a day. Tony admitted she had given up on Kinsleigh, and Tony repeated that she had failed Kinsleigh. It should be noted that Tony had a prior conviction in Morgan County, Indiana, for neglect of a dependent. On April 10th, Detective Nicholson contacted Tony's boyfriend, Ryan Smith. Ryan agreed that he and his mother would meet the detective at the child abuse office. On April 10th, Detective Nicholson and Detective Davis interviewed Ryan Smith at the child abuse office. Detective Nicholson read to Ryan his Miranda rights, which he stated he understood. Ryan agreed to speak with detectives further about the case. Let me just get some water. Failed her, she killed her. Yes, spot on. Yeah, PJ. I learned a lot about the American system through PJ, actually. It was actually how I met PJ. She was reading documents about the system and laws pertaining to what was related to Harmony's case. So Ryan stated at around 3:30 p.m. he picked BW, the 6-year-old, up from school and returned to his family's shop. Ryan stated that at 4:15 to 4:20 p.m., he received a phone call from Tony to come to the house to pick up all the children because Kinsleigh was dead. Ryan explained he went to the house with his mother to pick up the children. Ryan stated Tony had told him that Kinsleigh had drowned. He did not visibly see Kinsleigh while he was in the house to get the other children. Ryan stated Tony was on the phone with dispatch while he and the mother were getting the other children from the house. Ryan explained that as they were leaving, they observed emergency service headed to the house. Ryan stated there were text messages between him and Tony about the cause, about the case, because he had told her to call 911 when she first told him. Ryan outlined the dynamics of the situation with Kinsleigh since he entered the intimate relationship with Tony approximately a year ago. Ryan discussed various issues with Kinsleigh's behaviour. Ryan stated that Kinsleigh hated him because she wanted her real father. Ryan confirmed they had lived in the house on Denver Street for around 6 to 7 months. Ryan stated his parents had not seen Kinsleigh since around Christmas 2023. But Tony's mother, Tammy, took care of Kinsleigh often on the weekends. Ryan stated Tammy took Kinsleigh because Kinsleigh did not always go with them to their family ventures. Ryan stated Kinsleigh was not allowed to be around his family because she had told them his father told her to pull her pants down, and Ryan stated that was not true. Ryan stated Tony decided it would be best to put Kinsleigh, into the closet because it was safer for everyone else. It was safer to put her in the closet, ladies and gentlemen, than to parent her. It was safer to put a 5-year-old malnourished child into the closet than deal with whatever it is that she had issues of. Bullshit. Ryan stated she started putting Kinsleigh in the closet around Thanksgiving of 23. Ryan stated that in the last 3 to 4 months, he had only observed Kinsleigh out of the closet about 10 times. Ryan stated Tony would let Kinsleigh out periodically for an hour or two, but she would have to go back in the closet. Ryan stated that about 4 or 5 months ago, he became upset with Tony about the way Kinsleigh looked and acted. He became upset with the way Kinsleigh looked and acted. Yeah. So where are we? Ryan explained Kinsleigh had deteriorated and expressed to Tony that she needed help because she had lost too much weight and threatened that he would call 911 if Kinsleigh did not get help. Ryan stated Tony was scared to get Kinsleigh help because she did not want to get into trouble. Ryan stated he thought, oh my God. Ryan explained there were piles of feces in the corner. Ryan told Kinsleigh to quit pooing on the floor. So basically, he told her stop pooing on the floor, and then they could change this. Ryan stated he continued to express issues with everything to Tony, but Tony was scared to death. Scared to do anything else about it. Ryan stated he did not seek any medical attention for Kinsleigh because of his love for Tony. He loves her, guys. Fucking vermin. Ryan explained he never interacted with Kinsleigh or fed her while in the closet. Ryan stated Kinsleigh would scream and call everyone names. when she went to the closet. Ryan stated he would observe Tony bring Kinsleigh food every night, but he was not sure if she ate the food or what happened. Ryan said Kinsleigh would ask the boys to go and get her something like a toy. Ryan thought BW might be taking her drinks, granola bars, and crackers, but the kids are not allowed food outside the kitchen. Ryan believed Kinsleigh died of malnourishment. Ryan felt he should be punished, but not the same level or extent as Tony. No, mate, you're just as fucking culpable. So are the fucking CPS and DPS and all that. Yeah, he is, Barbara. You're right. Up 100%. Ryan believed Kinsleigh. Oh, yeah, we've done that. Doctor, I'm not even going to pronounce this doctor's name, but the doctor and Dr. Amanda Paul conducted the autopsy of Kinsleigh. Detective Boyce and Detective Harris observed what appeared to be light covering Kinsleigh's head, face, and body. Kinsleigh weighed 21 pounds at 38.5 inches tall. Dr. Jung noted business around Kinsleigh's right eye and cheekbone. Dr. Jung noticed the internal examination that Kinsleigh's intestines contain light pink fluid and no solid fecal matter. Dr. Jung noticed Kinsleigh's stomach contained less than 5 millimeters of stomach fluid. Dr. Jung and Dr. Paul, provided the preliminary cause of death was likely ruled by malnutrition. Dr. Young and Paul also provided that the preliminary manner of death was likely to be ruled neglect. Detective Nicholson placed Tony and Ryan under arrest on the 10th of April. Public Safety Order PSO Miles Copeland transported them to the Criminal Justice Centre. Ryan had been in possession of an Apple iPhone at the time of his arrest. The phone was seized for evidence. IMPD Detective Daniel Heiser, 40242, transported Tony and Ryan's phones to the IMPD property room to be held as evidence. So many people would love to have children, and people like this lack any form of love and humanity. Yes, Doodlebug. Doodlebug's brapping up here. Brap. Kinsleigh's brother stated the following during an interview. PW was unable to provide his age. He had difficulties paying attention. PW described all the people that lived in the house with him. Faces were drawn on a whiteboard to represent all the people he said lived with him. PW later went to change his mother's face to a sad face. PW explained that Kinsleigh stayed at the house. PW stated that made Kinsleigh sad. PW stated his mother had smacked Kinsleigh. PW stated his mother smacked Kinsleigh on the butt because she was in timeout. He also described Kinsleigh was in trouble because she had escaped the cage. PW stated Ryan became angry about Kinsleigh. PW stated Ryan was mad and he smacked Kinsleigh when he was on when she was on timeout. PW stated Kinsleigh liked to eat bread, and PW stated Kinsleigh had escaped from the wall. PW explains Kinsleigh did not have anything to play with while in the wall, but that she pooped in the cage. PW stated Kinsleigh made them sad and would be in timeout all day. PW stated that he had a sister, Kinsleigh, that lived in the house. PW stated that when he gets in trouble, he gets sent to the corner. PW stated that the children must go to the corner. and stated Kinsleigh had a different corner that she went to when she was in trouble. BW stated it was where the door was. BW stated nobody else had to go where Kinsleigh went. BW stated Kinsleigh had to stay in the corner for 12 minutes, but then she had to go back to the closet. BW stated Kinsleigh stayed in the closet of the bedroom that he slept with the bunk beds. BW stated Kinsleigh, PJ, slept on the ground floor. BW stated Kinsleigh pooed in the closet, explained that Kinsleigh would get a sandwich when all of the other children got pizza. BW stated Kinsleigh did not get pizza because she was bad. BW stated Kinsleigh would be in trouble because she would get into stuff. BW stated Kinsleigh would get out of the closet and tap him, but then he would tell his mother. BW stated his mother would put Kinsleigh into the corner and then back in the closet. BW stated Kinsleigh did not go anywhere except the closet. BW stated that Kinsleigh had said bad words to him while she was inside the closet. BW stated Kinsleigh said stupid words. BW explained that Kinsleigh never left time out. BW explained that he last saw Kinsleigh before she went to his grandma's and papa's. And he expressed that Kinsleigh looked really bad. Stated he would play on his PlayStation, but Kinsleigh played with nothing because she was bad. BW stated Kinsleigh did go with him to his mother's when they dropped him off at school. BW explained that Kinsleigh ate while she was in the closet. He stated his mother brought her a sandwich. Stated Kinsleigh did not get anything else except for one sandwich a day, and stated that Kinsleigh would ask her mother for a drink, but his mother never got her a drink. Explained his mother did not go to Kinsleigh when she asked her, and if she did, she would tell Kinsleigh no when she asked for a drink. Oh, this is so much to go. JH stated he goes to his mother's house every day after school, but he lived with his grandfather, DH, at his house. JH appeared extremely hesitant to talk about what really had been happening in his mother's house. JH claimed he did not know anything. When asked various questions, Sergeant Flynn advised JH that Kinsleigh was very sick and that she was at the hospital. JH became very emotional and upset at the time the interview was concluded. After the conclusion of JH's forensic interview, Lisa Brown from the IMP Victim Associate Unit met with JH and informed him that Kinsleigh's death and his mother's arrest had become very emotional, and told Lisa that he felt guilty about what happened. JH stated he had lied to Sergeant Flynn about what had been happening. MS stated on April 10th, Detective Nicholson interviewed Ryan's mother, MS, at the child abuse office. MS stated she had received a call to return to their business as soon as possible. MS went to the business shop to meet with Ryan and BW. MS stated Ryan told her that Tony had just called upset and Kinsleigh was unresponsive. MS stated Tony actually called Ryan's cousin because Ryan did not initially answer. But Cody gave the phone to Ryan to speak with Tony. MS stated she, Ryan, and BW went to the house on Denver Road. MS stated that at that point DCS had already been to the house, and it was believed that whatever happened to Kinsleigh happened after DCS had been to the home. MS stated Tony wanted them to pick up all of the other children because Kinsleigh was unresponsive. MS stated that Ryan immediately went into the house and retrieved the newborn baby, and he took her to the car. MS stated that she went inside and observed Tony just standing inside the bedroom. MS stated Tony did not say anything. She just stood there with a blank stare. MS stated she did not observe Kinsleigh inside of the house, so she asked Tony where Kinsleigh was located. MS explained that Tony told her that she was in the back bedroom, laid on the bed and underneath a blanket. This was the same room that the closet was located. Hello, GP. Sorry about that. Welcome, GP. MS stated she was under the impression that Kinsleigh was already dead at this time. Yeah, hit the like, share, and spread awareness for this case. Any further knowledge about what occurred with Tony and Kinsleigh? MS stated she was last seen in Kinsleigh for her birthday in early December 2023 and stated Kinsleigh did not look right. MS explained that Kinsleigh's hair was thin and raggedy and the colour of her skin was not normal. MS stated Kinsleigh's face was sunken, but it was harder to observe the weight difference because of the clothing she had worn. MS stated Ryan was told that something needed to be done about Kinsleigh's condition. MS stated she had first observed Kinsleigh November or December of 2022 and stated Ryan, Tony and Kinsleigh and the other children lived with her for some time in 2023. MS explained Kinsleigh would possibly be bipolar or have schizophrenia because she would be okay one moment, then the next would completely change. Stated that Kinsleigh would wait until everybody went to bed, then get into all the cabinets. MS stated she really did not see Kinsleigh after they moved into the house on Denver Drive. MS stated Tony would not bring Kinsleigh to any family gatherings. MS stated Kinsleigh had come to the house approximately 6 months earlier and discussed with the various issues which Kinsleigh and Tony had needed to change. MS stated Ryan told her MS states Ryan told her he dealt preliminary with the boys and Tony dealt with Kinsleigh. MS stated Ryan had told her that he had experienced nightmares that he would wake up and find Kinsleigh deceased. MS stated Ryan was afraid Kinsleigh was going to die. MS stated Ryan expressed that the relationship between Tony and Kinsleigh was massively different than the relationship Tony had with the boys. MS stated Ryan told her there was resentment from Tony towards Kinsleigh. Emma stated she had heard Kinsleigh tell Tony and Ryan that she did not like them and that she did not want to be there. MS stated Kinsleigh told them she was going to continue to act how she had and she would just have to deal with it. Okay, so we are on page 10 now. I'm going to leave it there. And I will get the rest in a video for you, and I will read it out in a video. Frank Meister's about to go live. There's a few more pages of this. Yeah, I need to get my eyes off the screen, so I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you all for coming. Wish me luck getting a refund with StreamYard because I am done with StreamYard. Yeah, this is a very distressing case. GP, if you want to go back to the beginning after Frank's live and watch that. Yeah, thanks, Jinx. Thanks, Karen. Right, ladies and gentlemen, there's still 4 pages left of this PCA, and I've also got document dump after document dump. It's a heck of a lot. But like I said, Frank Meister's going to be live in about 15 minutes. Probably say 20 because you know what he's like with his 5-minute alarm. But yeah, I will be in the chat. I was going to go up with him, but I'm going to message him now and let him know my eyes are done. My eyes are done for the night. But I will be in the chat. And he's going over a PCA himself. If you remember, I covered the Rebecca Park case. Let me have a look at this. Somewhere here, I have got for you what we're about to go over. Well, what he's about to go over. Here, Becca Park. He got the PCA today, so I told. Well, he put his live up saying that he was going to cover it. I said that I'd go up with him if he wanted, but I can't keep looking at the screen. But thank you all for coming. Pray for. Yeah, it's a lot, Barbara. But I think it's only going to get worse. I mean, I've got some things that I can't put on YouTube, and there's some things because I want to give credit to Turbo. Turbo got me this information, and there's a lot she hasn't given me due to she doesn't want. Well, it's in the documents, I think, and I can go and read it all. But she's highlighted bits for me because she doesn't want me reading through it all because it's that disgusting. But yeah, subscribe to Turbo. Give her a little shout out because she's been amazing with this. She really does like get. If I said to her, I'm going to cover this case, she will tell me literally everything about the case. She'll tell me where they live, everything like that. She'll get your documents on everything. She's brilliant. So yeah, subscribe to Turbo. And I am getting my eyes off this screen. Thank you all for coming. Goodbye. Oh no.